turn the RoboCar on, and today we're going to be looking how to develop a mobile application just like this and see how we can control the car. So I'm going to scan for the Bluetooth right here. I'm going to go move forward, stop, backward, stop, right, stop, left, stop. So this is what we're going to be doing today, is to develop this application right here. Assalamu alaikum. I hope you're doing great. Today we're going to continue with the RoboCar part 3, and we're going to be developing a mobile application using MIT App Inventor to control our RoboCar basically. So we'll be developing the app I just showed you before. What you will learn, how to use MIT Inventor app, how to use block codes basically to create a mobile application, how to use serial communication to control an Arduino project, publish and download your mobile application to your phone. So what you need: a list of material, a laptop, USB cable, RoboCar that we built in part 2. So by the way, the Arduino code is already built in part 2. If you want to go back to part 2 before do part 3, that would be good. And a smartphone. With smartphone, we're going to download the mobile application, this one that we're going to build, and then you can control your RoboCar. So MIT Inventor app, it's a web-based application. It's free. Go to this location right here, and once you get to this website, just create an app, and you might have to use your login, create a login account with them. Once you're there, so basically you're going to be in this interface here, where you can actually create, you can design an interface, and of course you have to be in the designer section, not the code section, to design your interface. So once you're here, I want you to go under layout and select and drag this horizontal arrangements right here. So let's go and actually do this instead of doing slides. Let's do it in the actual application. And then once you select this and drag it, you have to set up the properties. Let's see how we can do it. Okay. Under designer, you create the interface, and if you go here, so basically this is your control. So we aren't going to do the visual code now. We have to do the design. So we click on here, and then make sure that you select the phone size. So you have option tablet, monitor. So we just select the first option here. Okay, and then under layout, if you go here, I want you to click on horizontal arrangement. You drag it here. This is basically, we're kind of like setting up how big is the buttons, and so you just drag this here, and you go to properties, and under height, you play with the height that you like. I think it was 16. It was good enough for me, percent. So you can change the height of this area here. And then under width, I just do 50%. 50% because I'm gonna have 2 buttons there. But actually I can just full extend right here. I can do full fill parents. It will just extend the whole box here. So now we can put like 2 buttons, for example. The first button I'm gonna put here is the list picker. Go back to user interface, and we have list picker. So I'm just gonna drag this, and I'll explain you what's a list picker good for later on. So we want to basically have this kind of occupying half of this rectangle. So under width here, I can just use 50%, for example. And then under height, I can go 16. You can play with those, just make it like nicely down here. I can change, the list picker, we're gonna use it to scan Bluetooth. So I'm gonna give it a name scan. So I can go and change the text box here. And I'm just gonna type scan. You can center it, you can, change the color. I'm gonna make it, let's say white. And then the background, let's make it scan, let's just make it maybe blue. Now you can play with the colors, whatever you want, You can change the size. I have size somewhere right here. I can do maybe 20 or 22. Either way is fine. Now that I created my scan, I can go and add a button here, and I call it disconnect. So I'm gonna go to button. Okay, I'm gonna click and drag right here, and do the same thing. So disconnect, let's make it red. And the same way, I'm gonna have here same size 20. I can do height, we said 16, so it's the same height. And width, here I can do 50%. And the height, it didn't change, so height it's gonna be 16. Not sure why I did not. Okay, now it's good. Now let's write the word disconnect, and maybe the color also, we can change it to white. Okay. So you can see that we created two buttons. Okay. All right, next step, we have to create other buttons, which is forward, reverse, or backward, right and left. So we can do that. So we can go back to user interface again. And also just make sure that when you create, for example, button, you can name this button as, let's say, disconnect. Just make it easy for when you code. So I'm gonna call it disconnect. So we don't have to name it like button 1, button 2, button 3. List picker, I just one item, so I can leave it the same. I go again to user interface, under layout. We can go and get horizontal arrangement. The same way, we're gonna make it extended. So width, it's gonna be full, and let's say height, it's gonna be 16, just so we stay in the same kind of design. And now I can drop a button here under user interface, go button, and then drag. Let's give it 50%. So width 50%. And let's go to height 16. Okay, I can center it. I can change the shape if I want to. So for example, I can say rounded or oval. You can play with these things. Let's make this as so forward. Let's make it green. Okay, we can go change the text. So text we're gonna make it white. We stay consistent. Background, let's make it green. Okay, and then we can put size, like green and white does look nice. Let's make it red and increase the size to 20. And then we name it, let's give it a name. We said forward, okay. And then we can name our text box forward also, forward. Okay, that's not bad. You can make it blue, or, I mean, you know, you just make it the way how you want, you know, it really doesn't matter. So whatever it feels good. So we can make a button here, we can make another button here. I'm just gonna go and under, again, user interface, click on button here. The same process, the way how we created this, we're gonna create forward, we're gonna create backward, we're gonna create left, and we're gonna create right, okay? And the most important thing, I'm just gonna do it quickly, and let's do this together, and then the others I'm gonna do it quickly, okay? So the same process, you go to automatic, give it 50% so it occupies 50% of the space, and then give it, so that was height, we should do that. So height should be 20 or 16, and width right here is the 50%, okay? And let's make it blue and green. So we go here, blue, and then green. We go the other way, so it's like reverse, green. About that, and then we call this backward. Okay. Backward. Give it size 20. So you see what I'm saying, and then you can change the shape. You know, shape I can just do all at the same time. Okay. So here we created scan, disconnect. No, this is just the interface. We haven't got to programming them yet. Okay. And the same way, I can just really drop as before. I can go to layouts here, and I can drop this arrangement. And same way how I did this and this, I can create right and left. Okay. So once you did that, I'm gonna do it quickly, so you know, I don't have to go through to not make the video longer. Then I'll tell you the next step. So once you finish your design, the same process. I created the right button, left button, and stop button, basically. Now you come here to connectivity and select this Bluetooth client right here, and just drop it right here. Okay. You won't be able to see it; it's invisible, but it will be added to your components. So far we have list picker. This is the scan. We created a disconnect button right here. We create a right button, and then we created left button, and then stop button. And then we're going to be using Bluetooth protocol, so you have to use under connectivity, use this Bluetooth client. Just drag it right here. Okay, you can if I click here, I can change the background. For example, I can have my background black if I want to, or I can also change the if I have an image, I can also change the image background. Under here, background image, click on here. I already have this PNG image. I can just say OK, and it's going to load here. So that's how basically you create your interface. You can play with this, the shape, the size, the color, the way how you want it. So once you finish the design, then you click on here under blocks. Okay, I think the only thing we can add to this design is maybe adding a label here. When it's the device is connected, it shows the device name, and then when it's disconnected, it will just say disconnected. So let's do that. You go to label and just drag between here. I can change the size. I'll just make it 16. Click here, and I can go to width, maybe 50%, and let's make it, give it some background, maybe like white color, so we can see text. Okay, and here we can just say device name. So under text, let me change this to device underscore name. Okay. So now we can go back. Now to start programming our user interface, we go to block codes here. So to program this user interface, we go to block codes. Now that we finished designing our user interface, we have to program each button. To do that, we have to go to blocks, and under blocks, let's start with the list picker. This is where we have that scanning. So click on list picker, and with list picker, basically this list picker, we have two operations going on. We have before, so I'm going to select before, click on list picker again, and then after we select. So let's start with the before. First, we need to set list picker. So click and drag this one here and just drop it right here. We need to set it, this list picker element, and we need to set it to Bluetooth client address. Click on Bluetooth and look for Bluetooth client address and just drop it right here. Okay, now we're gonna go to list picker again. We're gonna go to control, and we're gonna select if then. We go to Bluetooth and we select call Bluetooth. That's connect. We're go back to list picker. We select list picker and we do selection here. Go selection. We go back to list picker. We can just pick it, copy this one, Control C, Control V, and drop this one here. So what happened here? So we have a before operation and after picking operation. So basically when you click on scan, that button scan, list picker is gonna show all the Bluetooth devices around you, okay? So we need this command to do that, okay? And then basically once you click on the device or the Bluetooth that you're interested in, so to do that we need this operation. This is after selection. So the after picking, basically we're gonna need to connect that selection that you choose with your finger. So we're gonna have to use the if the Bluetooth is connected or selected basically to that specific address, and then we need to tell basically this list picker object, we need to let the selection that you choose. So we're gonna have to do Bluetooth client and then the address. So there is a before picking and after picking operation. So when this is done, remember we added a device name. So we're gonna kind of program this device name to show the device or the address of the Bluetooth that you once you select it, it's gonna be shown here. Or if it's not selected or disconnected, it will just say disconnected. Okay, so we're gonna work on this one here. So we're gonna go back to blocks, and we're gonna go to control, and we're gonna choose if then else statements. We're gonna go to Bluetooth client, and we're gonna look for Bluetooth is connected. So if the Bluetooth is connected, we're gonna set the device name to list picker selection. Drop this one here and change this to selection. Else, we're gonna show it that it's not disconnected. So I'm just gonna copy this one, drop it here, remove this, and I'm just gonna write in this X block, not connected. So far we programmed scan, that's the list picker, and we programmed the device name. That's what we programmed. We have to program these buttons and the disconnects. So let's do the forward, okay? Go back to blocks, and I'm gonna select forward. You have to select the forward, and then with the forward we have this when forward clicked, and you know, I'm gonna use better when forward touch down, because when we drive the car we're gonna be touching down, pressing the forward until we change direction. So I'm gonna put this one here, and I'm gonna go back to Bluetooth again. This time I need to send text. So I'm gonna use this call Bluetooth client. Okay, and the character we're gonna be sending for forward is F. So go back to text, choose this string here, block, drop it here, and type the word F or character F. Okay, so when the button is pressed, I'm gonna go back to the design now. When this forward button is pressed, the character F is gonna be sent from your mobile through your Bluetooth, and that's what this is doing here. Okay, when we press the button forward, this character F, which is really an ASCII code, bunch of zeros and one, gonna be sent to the through the Bluetooth in serial communication 1 bit at a time through Arduino to read it. So we're gonna do the same thing for, I'm just gonna Control C, Control V for everything to do. This time, instead of forward, we're gonna do backward, and instead of sending the character F, I'm gonna send the character B, and just use the same thing, Control C, Control V for right. So to turn right, I'm gonna choose the right button and just send the character R from the phone, okay? And to turn left, copy and paste again, Control C, Control V. Do left, select left here, and then type L. Okay, one more button left is the stop button, and I can do this. I can select from the drop-down menu stop button, and then we're going to be sending, as you remember from Arduino, we are basically receiving character S. So here we are sending character S, okay? You know, so the only thing now is left is to program the disconnect button. Remember this button here, disconnect? We programmed all these buttons so far. So what's left here is the disconnect button. To do that, go back to the blocks. And you just put it on top here for better organization. I'm gonna select disconnect, and I'm gonna click on when disconnect button is clicked, what happened to Bluetooth. Select Bluetooth and look for disconnect right here, and set the Bluetooth client to disconnect. And then the device name, so basically it has to show that label that we created, that device name. You're gonna click on device name and set the device name to text, and set it to just like before, not connected, and just place it right here. And this is how you code all your buttons. Okay, so once you're done, you go to build, and if you have an Android phone, as I am, you select the Android app APK. Once it's finished processing, then just use your camera basically to download this application into your phone. That's it. Enjoy.